We're so back.
Let's start over.
Let's do it.
If you weren't like looking to see, like I'm just trying. I just click on record.
I had faith in your ability to hit record.
I just hit record.
You know, old people and technology. You know what I'm saying, folks? You know what I'm saying, Mom.
All right.
Even though you won't
Are you
remember
ready
this.
to start? We're running out of time.
Oh, we're ready. This is all keeping in.
Then shut the fuck up and let me start the show. Hello, my name's Casey Wilson.
And I'm Brad Erie. You said rush.
Not that big of a rush, not to interrupt.
And I miss you too.
All right, pause. Hello, I'm Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning, and this is my co-host.
Still Brad Erie.
So, we've been gone for a long time.
I missed you.
Brad's been out with a lot of crazy stuff.
I just want to say
we're not going to talk about it because we don't need to see man tears.
That's right. This is our second time going through this. The first time, Casey had about a 10-minute "how much he missed me" video.
I did not.
That somehow is not being recorded. But just to let you audience members know, you might have hugged me.
I did not.
You might have hugged me, and he might have said, "Good to have you back."
I've never given you a hug.
I think you called me bro once during your 10-minute recap of our. Okay, no, we'll see. All right. Funny
I did say I missed him. And the reason why I don't do this podcast individually is because I enjoy doing it with Brad. I like the dynamic we have. It's fun. I look forward to it. But he hasn't been training, and look at that. He hasn't been training, and we haven't been doing a podcast. So if for some reason Brad gets another extended leave, I'll just do some individual podcasts. I'll remember to hit record on the button 2 times or 3 times. You have to hit it. So the one time I thought you had to hit it, and I'll record some individual ones just for the in-betweens. But we do this podcast for fun, and we do it because we enjoy doing it together. Instead of just standing there shooting the shit, we thought, people are like, why not record it? Yeah. Like, so let's do a podcast. And then we've really enjoyed doing it. So I don't really get excited about doing it by myself. But I will do that just because we do have some people that actually enjoy the podcast.
We broke triple digits for the last 2 sessions, at least on the podcast
side. And then you disappeared and screwed up all the momentum.
Yeah, well, we're back.
But in general, that's so why we do this podcast. This guy's been gone. That's why we haven't done it. And now let's jump into this son of a bitch. Maybe watch the Acolyte series. Because after the 3rd episode, I was out.
He was out.
And then I watched it because, everybody was doing videos on hate videos and stuff, and I hated it. But he was like, no, we got to do videos and critique it and do all that stuff. And then he disappears.
They'll turn it around.
I watched the whole series because I love Star Wars, but I will not watch bullshit.
Yeah.
And I would not have watched after the 3rd episode if it wasn't for this guy. Then he leaves, and I end up watching the whole stupid series that was so horrible. And I won't dive in depth into all the different stuff.
That would be a 7-part.
It would be
podcast.
Like we would do the whole podcast on that. We have some other stuff we're going to talk about too. Brian doesn't even know what I usually set the agenda for the podcast, and he deviates off the agenda horribly all the time.
That's what my job is.
That's what his job is
Digress.
So, number 1. People that don't like George Lucas and don't like the original trilogy, they never read the books or they don't really are into it, should not have anything to do with Star Wars, Disney Star Wars anymore. Now, that being said, they're going to break some more of those people, I'm sure, and bring more of them in. Hopefully not. Hopefully now that Dave Filoni's the chief creative officer, he goes to kibosh on some stuff. But we were hoping that with everything. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you can't have people that think Jedi are evil. You can't have people think Sith are good people. It's like taking a murderer and trying to make his story sound like it isn't that great.
Yeah.
And like the cop's a piece of shit. We do that in our society already.
Yeah.
But this guy was great. You know what I mean?
If all Sith were hot Asians, naked,
yes,
we'd all be Sith.
With their hopefully their future apprentice.
Yeah.
Who they want to apprentice for them, staring at their cock as they're walking out of the water naked. I mean, come on.
I mean, if
And we're talking about Hollywood, which grooms people.
If Jennifer Connelly was walking naked out of the lake and she wanted me to be Sid, I might turn Sid.
I'd start cutting people's heads off.
Right there you go. My lightsaber would have changed to red.
Don't say those things, because then I start wanting to talk about those things. How utterly ridiculous he was to bleed the lightsaber. Freaking Darth Vader almost killed himself, and how much more powerful is he than fucking OSHA?
I know.
Anyway, but anyway, Jedi are not evil. Yep. They're not ruled by their emotion. That's what they train. Now, do I think that Jedi should maybe have some more emotion? In the 32 books, which is something I will get into, I've read so far this year about Star Wars, Jedis are allowed to feel things. They're not robots. They're not automatons. Mm-hmm. So they're allowed to feel things, but not like Soul was having a nervous breakdown the whole show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, there's so much stuff we're not going to get. But just in general, we need people who believe in the George Lucas vision of Star Wars. Can you deviate a little bit? Can you tell some other stories? Okay, because look, Jedi aren't bad people, and Sith aren't good people. Yeah. Okay? And people like Leslie Headland should not be able to touch Darth Plagueis. They should not be able to touch Yoda. Yeah. If you bring them in, they got to prove themselves first before they can start touching main characters. Let them tell little stories. You know what? If they wanted to touch, if the biggest name in this whole thing would have been, Kiadi-Mundi or Venestra, if those are the big names from the freaking books and from the prequels and stuff, great, let them have them. But when you start talking about Yoda, Luke, all these people, you got to have people that are Star Wars people.
No canon.
Leslie Headland should not be able to touch anything that is like going to impinge on canon, and she did over and over again because they don't care. It's only about themselves. It's not about Star Wars. This is Disney Star Wars, right? And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau better make sure the skeleton crew is damn good, because they just have their name plastered on the trailer. Executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Guess what? If it sucks, if it's more bullshit, I'm done. I won't even watch the Grogu and Mandalorian shit.
Now, to me, that's the final thing.
I'm done with Disney Star Wars.
The skeleton crew, that's for my daughter's age.
But it has to be done. I watched the cartoons. I watched all of that stuff. I was my granddaughter. I started with the young Jedis. Have you seen
nice.
Young Jedis or whatever? Horrible Hollywood crap. A bunch of
that is quality grain.
More woke crap. But at least it's Star Wars. So I was like, let's get her going. I've already shown her.
Her first word should be lightsaber.
She's already watched the New Hope, and next is Empire Strikes Back. She doesn't know what's happening, but she does. She likes that. She really likes Frozen and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, well, she's a girl.
She's not there yet, but
you got time.
I'm trying to slowly show her. This is the path.
Have you bought her a little baby Jedi lightsaber yet?
No.
All right, come on.
No, nothing like that. But
she's work on grip.
She's had a lot of Star Wars clothing, so.
Oh yeah.
But she's real into Frozen right now. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, she loves. If you play hot diggity dog.
Oh yeah.
That girl could be crying, her eyes out like she was last night. I bring up my phone. I have that soundtrack on my Spotify.
Yes.
I click on Hot Diggity Dog, and that girl just stops crying and starts staring at my phone.
I tell you what,
it's the only reason I haven't canceled Disney is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Frozen. I told my daughter, I go, I'm canceling after Acolyte. I go, I'm canceling Disney Plus, and she was just like, "No, Dad has Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Frozen, and she watches all the cartoons." And I'm trying to show her all the old cartoons that I watched when I was good. I was like, "All right, I won't cancel it." But I go, in the future, I am going to cancel that piece of crap Disney Plus unless they start putting out some real Marvel and some real Star Wars and some movies that actually people give a shit about.
Well, I'm glad I'm past the hot dog song phase of my kids. Well, that nearly drove me insane.
Your kids will eventually. It's an earworm too, because you watch it and then I come to work and then I'm like, I'm digging it down, and I'm singing that for 2 hours.
Did you do the Snoopy where you're just
while they're doing all the Daisy's doing this. I like watching
I
it. I go,
4 years of that show.
you know what? When it came out, my kids were still young enough to watch. Like, especially my son was watching it. My daughter actually liked it all right, but she was kind of past it by the time it came out. But now my granddaughter, I watched a lot of Mickey Mouse movies. I watched her for 24 hours one weekend, 10 hours another weekend. So it's like almost like parenting duty. So
yeah, mouth got too old.
Daughter got a new job, so she's been working more. So on the weekend,
a new sponsor for our program. Thank you, young Casey daughter.
Yeah. So anyway, Acolyte sucked. Disney licks balls. Hopefully they're going to course correct. I am very optimistic about Marvel. We'll talk about that maybe if we have enough time at the end. But basically, don't let fucking non-Star Wars people that don't believe in George Lucas's vision try to manipulate and screw up Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Acolyte's horrible shit. Leslie Headland's horrible shit. Kathleen Kennedy's horrible shit. Let's hold off judgment on Dave Filoni and John Favreau. I mean, he's involved too, so I don't know. But this Skeleton Crew, which I'll be honest, I watched the trailer, and when I watched the trailer of Acolyte, I thought it was hot bullshit anyway. But this guy was like jizzing in his pants over lightsaber battles. But I'm like, I'm not optimistic about it. The Skeleton Crew looks like Goonies in space.
That's what it is.
So that's a little exciting
later.
It could be good. Jude Law's a great actor. Mm-hmm. Just watching the trailer, I'm sure they'll come out with another trailer in December. I think this show comes out, or something like that. So hopefully it's good. But man, I love Star Wars, and here's what we're going to get into next is I finished the 32nd book so far this year. Ooh. And it's been a pleasure reading all these books. Ooh. 32 at the start of the year, I said I was going to read all the Star Wars. I probably won't because there's so many individual books.
How many? What's better, the 32 books or House of Dragon Season 2?
Oh, those 32 books are the best. Okay. Let me tell you, Marcus Thompson reads most of them.
Yeah, I like him.
He is the best. These stories are so good. And then you sit there and scratch your head. It's like, why isn't Disney? Number one, why didn't George Lucas do this? Why did he make these? Why didn't he bring people like Jon Favreau in to make shit and then oversee it? You know what I mean? Instead, he gets to the Disney, they make a sequel trilogy of horrible crap. Han's the Solo movie, which was crap. And Rogue One was pretty good. I'll give him credit where credit's due. I liked Rogue One, but it had its issues too.
Do you wonder if George would be like, look, I'll give you 2, Bill. Like, yeah, I know you sold it for me for 4. I'll give you 2.
He didn't like all the books and stuff too, but man, the story told after Return of the Jedi, Heir to the Empire.
That's the greatest.
This guy actually read that. I bought him to read it. We did book reviews on it. Yep. Then there's 2 more books afterwards that are basically the Hand of Thrawn, the Spectre of Past, or something like that, which are a guy in basically the Imperial Lost. Mm-hmm. They get like an animal, they get somebody who fakes being Thrawn, who's not really Thrawn, and they do a bunch of prosthetics and all this stuff. But he's not really Thrawn. But then they get into the Legacy of the Jedi, which is what I did. Yeah. Now, a couple of years ago, or was it 2023 actually? So it was a couple of years. It was last year. I read, I think it's 8 or 9 books. It's called The Aftermath of the Jedi. It was the final series ever done by Star Wars, licensed before Disney took over. And it was great, but I missed. And so I had read a lot of books like early on, but I had to reread them because it had been 20, 25 years since I had read some of those, like Timothy Zahn, Heir to the Empire and stuff. I had to go back and read. I read them on hardcover, but listening to them are so much better. And I had went through the whole Vector Prime and Yuuzhan Vong War and all those, and it just continues. Legacy of the Jedi just continues right up 32 books in. So I finally finished it, and I was just like, holy crap. I can tell you, if you love the original trilogy, this is better than anything you could imagine, because we're getting into like the kids of the Jedi. They're growing up, and they're badass Jedis. Basically, Darth Vader's grandson turns to the dark side, and then it's so good. His own twin sister has to kill him.
That's so good.
That's messed up. And Luke gets tore up, and this kid fucking turns into becoming Darth Caedus. And he freaking kills Luke Skywalker's wife, who's a badass Jedi. Yeah. And like he's a Sith, so he cheats. He doesn't use lightsaber battle. He freaking hits her with poison. Yeah. Poison darts because he was about ready to die. He almost was about ready to beat him. But anyway, and Luke Skywalker is so powerful.
That's what I like.
I mean, he is so strong. Like so people are just like, oh my, like Darth Titus, the kid.
Yeah.
He kept thinking he's as badass as Luke Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
Luke was beating him, projecting his force presence. Wasn't actually there. He was somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, like they did in the movie.
Yeah.
Where he fought like Kylo Ren or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Except way more powerfully. I mean, there's a way to.
He didn't die right afterwards.
No. There's a way to because he actually was Luke fucking Skywalker, fucking Grand Master of the Jedi Order, which is now hundreds of Jedis that he's created.
Yeah.
But you know who's going to do that in Star Wars, Disney Star Wars?
Rey.
Who's a horrible piece of shit of a character. Anyway, let's not diverge. Let me not get too fired up about that crap. Anyway, this book series I highly recommend. So if you start off, now the 32 books were not like they did not include. I think I've read almost 50.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the 3 Thrawn trilogy there, the Empire.
Yeah.
Then there was the 2, so that was 5. And then the Yugosong Vong War was a certain amount, but total for this year was 32.
Humble brag.
And I just downloaded Outbound Flight, which is the only other Timothy Zahn written Star Wars book that I have not read. This is about the Outbound Flight, which, anyway, George Seaboth, who was the Jedi, his clone, was based off he dies in the Outbound Flight. They go out and they're trying to go out to other worlds and stuff. And a lot of this Palpatine, he was kind of Palpatine's Jedi. He was like kind of like his inside guy for a long time. Not a bad guy because he didn't know he was Palpatine yet. He didn't know he was a Sith. But anyway, the Outbound Flight, grade 17 hours long. I was like, I've been reading all these 6-hour books.
Yeah, 17 hours.
I want to dive into 17 hours of the Outbound Flight. But I love Timothy Zahn. He's my favorite Star Wars author. There's a lot of good ones, but he is the best in my opinion. And so, please get it. This is why I'm like going, I see this Disney Star Wars crap and I go, you know what? I'll just stick with the books.
Yeah.
I'll watch the original ones. I'll watch the ones I think are good. Prequel, the original 6.
You got to warn the audience that the moment they start reading these books,
they will hate Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, it will churn you. It did for me too, and I am a sucker. And you start reading these books.
This guy was excited about the Acolyte.
Yeah.
And even after the first 2 episodes, he was still really into the Acolyte. I'm sitting there ripping it apart, and he's like going, they fight with lightsaber.
But you get into the books, and you're like, why didn't they just make these movies? Because you would just be printing out money.
You scratch your head and you just think, this story is so amazing and so great.
Yeah.
Screenplay it. Have Timothy Zahn help you screenplay it.
It's already
and all these other writers are out there that would love to jump in. Instead, Lindsay Hedlund is getting the job of being a showrunner. And she brings up people that have never read a Star Wars novel. I've never watched anything Star Wars. She was bragging about bringing somebody that had nothing to do with Star Wars and didn't like Star Wars, but he was a good writer, and he wants to take a different, fresh view of it. We don't need fresh views. We need good views that are along the George Lucas timeline, his vision. Can you veer off and put your own spin on it? Yeah. But you can't, diverge from the core tenets of what Star Wars is. And when you do that, people aren't going to like it, except for the moron, I love Disney Star Wars. It's so great. Those morons can go jump in a lake because you don't. When I say you're ignorant, it's because you have no knowledge of what these books are and what you could be experiencing. If somebody was running the show at Disney that knew what the F they were doing. And we all were all optimistic about Dave Filoni finally coming and being the one because he was like us in the way he talked.
Look, I'm still Flay Filoni.
I'm not, but I will give him a chance. So this Skeleton Crew and the Grogu Mandalorian movies better just be the best shit you've ever seen, or I'm out.
And Ahsoka season 2.
I will stick with Lucasfilms pre-Disney, purchase of Lucasfilms, pre-Kathleen Kennedy screwing everything up. Bob Iger and Chapek and all these people that were just have screwed Star Wars to the core with a big black Sith cock. They've just been pounding it from behind and getting nothing out of it. They haven't even came yet because they haven't had a big fucking. They haven't had a big fucking movie. I mean, that sequel trilogy was the biggest pile of crap you've ever seen. Right. And when we read these books, we go, "This could have been." That's what Brad's saying. Is this could have been. Instead, we got this crapple.
What I would have done if I was in charge, I would have immediately cast a new Luke, Hannah, and not Hannah, Leia. Thank you. Long day, and Han Solo, and I would have gone straight through the Heir of the Empire, like into these books, and I just been like, look, why fight what's there? It's good. Like, we're gonna save so much money than hiring screenwriters and giving them millions of dollars.
Why do you think?
Because it carries on from the.
No, why do you think they didn't do that?
Oh, because I think that they're like, we can do better. We can make it better. We don't want to do that because that's someone else's idea.
I would like to think that that's what it is.
And me, I'm like, no, I couldn't do better. I read the books. They are awesome. I mean, if you cast 20-somethings for, the three main characters, and then you can let them grow old, have kids, follow their careers, their kids' careers. Like, you could keep this thing going until
in transition.
Chapter 29, where, Luke dies and his kids are battling and his grandkids. Like, you just keep the Skywalker, all that stuff going. It's all written right there. I just would have been like, I would have handed them the
I will tell you why.
Because
you have people like are narcissistic egomaniacs like Kathleen Kennedy.
Have you ever met a movie director?
They didn't want George Lucas and his vision to go on the screen anymore. They wanted their vision of what they think Star Wars is. And they fucked it all up. And let's bring in directors and writers that have their own visions of this stuff instead of sticking to what they could. I guarantee you right now, Star Wars would be the biggest thing. They would talk about the Avatar sucking on Star Wars.
Left foot.
Yeah. Try not to get the big black cock.
Big black swordsman
sitting there going. But I don't really understand why they did it, except for that it had to be an ego play.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ego and a narcissism. I can do it better. I don't want to follow the stories that are already laid out that were already so good. So I think it was actually more devious than what you're thinking.
Maybe I'm always the optimist.
Yeah, he's a little. I'm a human nature person where I know what human nature is and what, why would you do this? Well, because you feel this way. Not because you have some good motive. Oh, I think we can just do it better. No, I don't want to do what's already laid out that people have already done. Then we're going to have to pay this writer who wrote this book.
Yeah.
Because we're using their story, and then they're going to
And my story is better than their story.
Yeah. And I'll bring J.J. Abrams in, and he'll make a better one. I'll bring Ryan Johnson in. And number one, I'm sure they were hamstrung by Kathleen Kennedy. From what I hear, she was always overriding ideas and not allowing stuff to happen. But with that being said, those people did not make any type of story that was anywhere close to what was already written.
Mm-hmm.
You could have took books out and even inserted different things in, and it still would have been 10 times better.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll deviate off that. Let's talk about some fitness related stuff.
Yes!
Brad has not been doing any. I mean, this guy's wants to run 2 Spartan races in 3 months, and look at
me.
You got to get your shit together, man. I went out trail running for the first time last weekend. The Training Hill. I was only 7 minutes and 20 seconds slower.
How's your back and knees from that? Good.
The back and knees were good. I was surprised my knee because I hadn't been running because my knee had been messed up for a month, and I had got a nasty cold before that, some virus. So I was like, I put me off starting.
Yeah.
Probably 4 to 5 weeks ago, I would have started running. So I'm a little behind, but it wasn't bad. My calves and my feet were just smoked. So I was walking like it hurt. I'd have to get up and start walking for like 30 seconds before everything would start to work. I was walking around like an old man. But this weekend I'll be back up there again. So every weekend for a long time I'm going to be up there because I got 3 Spartan races to run in November. This guy has 2. You better get his shit together and start getting up there.
I got a lot of work to do.
You do got a lot of work to do. So that being said, it's Spartan race time. So right now we got 7 people on the team. You're one of those 7. So I'm gonna start advertising it probably today. I filmed a video, but my voice was jacked up this morning, so I had like too much. I sound like I'm vibrating because I had like phlegm in my throat.
Yeah,
my throat's a little sore because
too much black Sith cock. We understand.
Yeah. I have like food gets stuck in my throat sometimes, and lately it's like my throat's been narrowing. I have to,
Food, he says. Is that what we're calling it now?
I have to have my throat scoped because it gets narrow. So I'm getting close to that time where I need to start scheduling those surgeries, scoping or whatever thing. So I had to gag some food up yesterday, and then my throat's a little wonky. So, but with that being said,
Let's talk Spartan.
For Spartan Race. So if you live in the Sacramento area, this is for you. We do Spartan training. This will be my 6th group I've led through.
Yeah.
And we do the sprint race. It's only a 5K. So roughly you're going to go with the obstacle stuff. It's about 3.5 miles.
Yep.
And we train for 2 months before the race. 2 times a week. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. and Saturday mornings somewhere between 7 and 9 a.m. If we're trail running, we're getting up there at 7 a.m., 7:30, something like that, and getting it out of the way early in the day. And it's a lot of fun. So you're trained probably 15, 16 times over a 2-month period. And it's very Spartan specific: grip strength, lifting heavy objects, and running. That's what you do in a Spartan race.
Yeah.
So it's
not that complicated.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Last year was going to probably be the last year I led a group. And then we had so much fun. I was like, all right, I'll do it again. It's in the same location this year.
Oh, that's good. That's a good location.
Yeah, so I was very excited. Originally, we thought it was going to be at Lake Berryessa, so it was going to be a little bit of a drive, more of a drive. But now it's back out of Rancho Seco Park.
Nice.
So that was a great location last year. I really liked it. It was very clean. Yeah, it was fun.
Much rather dive in the lake than a dirty mud puddle.
Yeah, no elevation gain, that type of stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was one of my favorite races I've run. So, yeah, if you're interested, September 18th. September 18th.
It's
just
starting
barely
soon.
over a month.
I know. Oh my God,
man! So we'll start doing that, and we'll train for 2 months. The race is November 17th. So get your workouts in. It's fairly cheap. It only to come and train those 2 times a week for 2 months. It's only $250 I charge, and you got to register for the race too. So, but I'll give you all the details on that.
And you get to see this magic happen live.
It is one of the only times I actually work out with clients because I'm a trainer. I train people. I don't work out with them.
Yeah.
So the only time that I actually work out with my clients is when I'm leading the group, because I'll go out and run with them. I'll do the workouts with them. Sometimes in some of the circuits, depending on how many people we're going to have, I may not do those just because there's a limited amount of room. So, and I want to keep everybody on track. But for the most part, I train each workout session with all the Spartan training group, because I need the training too. Like especially like the more grip strength, you have to swing from stuff. You have to, go across slick walls, and you have to hold on with just hand holds. There's a lot of stuff that's tough with Spartan race. But I don't train it all the time year round. I always do dead hangs. I usually do forearm roll ups, but I don't do a lot of don't do it excessively. So I do a lot more of it for the next 2.5 months, 3 months. I'll be doing a lot of it. I also will have a beast race in Central California.
And by the end, like the Spartan team's pretty well, or like pretty close. Like I still talk to a lot of the Spartan people that we work out with that I don't see. Yeah,
because Brad doesn't come to any workouts, so he doesn't see.
Well, that's true.
So if he came to the group workouts, he might see something. So let's talk a little Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, did you finally see it?
Okay. It's the first time I went to the theater to see a movie. And I was really thinking back. I'm like going, was it Top Gun Maverick?
I think it was. No, you said there was one after Maverick.
The Eternals, I think I saw, and then I thought, which one came out first? And I looked back, and I think it was Top Gun Maverick. Whichever one of those were the last 2 I went and saw at the movie theater. So whichever one came out, but I think it was Eternals was the last one I went.
That's unfortunate.
I didn't hate the Eternals like as much as some other people did.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great. You know what I'm finding, and as we talk a little bit further and we get into Game of Dragons, or House of Dragons.
Yeah.
If I haven't read the books like I have with Star Wars,
Yeah, that's much better.
The House of Dragon, like I've read like lots of clips and excerpts and stuff.
Yeah.
And people like make these videos where they'll show like, you know, some animated dragon and they'll be telling the story.
Yeah.
I've read some of that, so I kind of know, you know, a little bit about what happens.
See, I didn't do any of that. I have no idea other than.
But when I'm watching House of Dragons and Game of Thrones, I didn't read the books.
Yeah, me neither. And it makes it so much better.
I didn't read the books, but it makes me go, I love Star Wars so much more because I read the books. I gotta go back and I gotta start reading these books too.
Well, then it'll ruin the movie.
Then I'll be like, oh, I'll talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But at least, you know, like Lord of the Rings. I didn't read the Tolkien books, but I love Lord of the Rings.
All of them, yeah.
You know, but maybe I wouldn't love them if I watched it. In the Rings of Power that's on Amazon.
Yeah.
All the Lord of the Rings people fucking hate it.
I love it because
they
come
on here and cuss out everybody who does it. And they know all their names. I'm just like, I thought the Rings of Power was pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're like, this guy, he's supposed to be here. And it's like what I do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there going,
totally.
yeah, maybe I should read these things because I'm just like going, just feed me
the
crap.
I always read them way after the shows are over.
Yeah.
Because then, like, watching the shows, not knowing what's going on, makes it
I would
especially
if it wasn't for having like I had stepsons, I would have probably never. One of them was really into Harry Potter. I would have never probably watched the movies until my kids grew up and got older. Yeah. But then when I started watching, I go, these are freaking really good movies.
Yeah,
because they're basically the plot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you know,
it's like the Luke Skywalker, but with the little,
Lord Vader, the Darth Sidious, whatever you want to call it.
Lightsabers,
yeah, you know, J.K. Rowling's not that creative. I mean, then again, people say George Lucas. They go, look at John Carter Mars, you know, like Edgar R. Rice, or
all that other stuff that he wrote.
Whatever his name was. You know what? And they're like,
don't say my boy's George name in vain.
Yeah, you know, like I'll fist fight you, you know, if you want that. So you go talk about George Lucas, it's like, all right, you want to throw down? Let's go. But Deadpool versus Wolverine. Yeah. So I finally went to the movie theater. My son actually was what instigated it because I might not have saw it, but he goes, hey, Dad, Friday we should go watch. Because he's off on Fridays from work. He goes, Friday. He goes, we should go watch Deadpool Wolverine. He never says that.
Yeah.
And he also is almost 20 years old. He turns 20 in 5 days. Or no, 3 days. And he doesn't have a driver's license. I mean, he Ubers places sometimes, but he walks to work, you know, and stuff. So he's like, I'm like, oh, you need to ride over to watch the movie, so you don't want to pay Uber. He's like, oh, no, I thought it'd be fun if you and I went. I'm like, all right. But we went. Great. I laughed. Like, at least 3 or 4 times I actually laughed. Like, sound left to my throat. Yeah. You know, and then I smiled a lot. And we both really enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't bogged down by a bunch of crap. There wasn't a bunch of woke crap, Hollywood crap in it. There wasn't, you know, this timeline and that timeline and blah, blah, and this character. And, you know, if you watch the Marvels, what a horrible steaming pile of shit that movie was.
When Johnny Storm, who I thought was Captain America, and he's like, here it comes, and he goes, flame on. I about shit myself. I laughed so hard. And I was like, oh my God, they're bringing back all the old Fox. Oh, I love it. Blade. That was one of my favorites. I know, Elektra. I'm like, oh, they're really deep cuts. Yeah. Oh, I've seen.
I thoroughly enjoyed it without a doubt. I mean, even the Pyro dude from the X-Men movies, the same guy. Yeah. Going, he's just old.
Same saber-tooth. I've seen this movie twice, and I'll probably go see it one more time.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it comes out on video. I won't go see it.
It
would have to. The only time I'm going to go see something twice in the movie theaters if it's like vintage, like really good Star Wars, like Mandalorian Grogu is like amazing. Yeah. Or we're like we see it and we're like, oh my God, little emotional. I'm like, oh,
Gotta go buy tickets or something.
Star Wars, and then maybe I'll go watch it a second time at the movie theater. I think the only movie that I was tempted to watch a second time was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
I almost went and saw it a second time.
There's so many Easter eggs in Deadpool and Wolverine. So many people were laughing. I felt like I had to go back in and watch the stuff to make sure that I didn't miss anything and got all the puns and lines and things like that.
The relationship between here's the thing is it doesn't have to be some big huge story that's all detailed and all that.
Yeah.
It was the relationship between Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and their characters.
Yeah.
It was so well done. You actually get a bond with them and you feel for them and you want good things to happen for them. But also you're just really entertained by all this goofy story that's going on too, because it wasn't like any type of overarching story thing. It's like a one-shot movie.
It was not a deep movie.
No, but it was amazing. It was entertainment.
It was the most entertaining movie. Yes. Oh, I didn't want it to end.
Oh, you entertained. Yes. I was entertained. So, high regard for that. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, which I think everybody's been seeing it.
Yeah.
Last weekend, it went over 1 billion.
Yeah, I don't think we're spoiling this.
And can I just say, this movie doesn't have, I already said, doesn't have all the woke bullshit. It doesn't have all the trappings of, like making it political and all that stuff, trying to make statements. And guess how much money it's made? And what was the other movie that came out that really didn't have a bunch of that stuff either this year?
That's how much I remember. Oh, yeah. I didn't watch that.
That's just a movie. A good, well-made movie. And they both have made $1 billion dollars.
Imagine that. If you make a good movie, people will.
We don't care about your freaking political tropes. We don't care about your wokeism. We just want well-written shows. I don't care if the protagonist is a female, a gay. I probably would if it was a trans, because I think most trans have psychological issues, so I probably wouldn't want them to be the protagonist.
Please send all your hate mail to Casey@hedoesn'tgiveafuck.com.
I'm sorry, but the science pretty much shows it's like correlate between having psychological issues and emotional issues, and that is pretty high. I think anyone who has a brain can figure that one out.
How excited are you for the upcoming Marvel stuff that's coming out? I mean,
here's the thing: Kevin Feige is trying to course correct.
Yes, and he's doing it right.
All right,
Russo brothers, I'm in.
But hold on,
Doomsday.
Hold on,
I'm in.
Hold on. If they give us a bunch of crap, woke bullshit crap, which is what I was just trying to say, is make movies that everybody's gonna like. We don't care. Make a gay woman, if it's in the comic book or it's in a book.
Yeah.
And a gay woman's written, do it. Don't try to change a male character and make them this. Don't try to change these things. You know what? Come out and just make good movies with well-written stories, or that are just really entertaining, that people are going to go back and see again and again, and you'll save the movie industry. You'll save Disney. Disney's in the shitter. Did you read anything about their parks are floundering, their movies are floundering.
Thank God for
Inside Out and Wolverine, but those aren't going to save them because they've had 10 freaking horrible shit movies before that. How much money did they lose on the Marvels? A lot of freaking money. Captain America, they spent a ton of money on that one when it comes out. That will not do well. That movie will not. I'm not excited about that movie. They reshot 70% of the movie from what they're saying.
Yeah,
they said it's going to cost them, because all the reshoots they did, it's going to cost them $375 to $400 million total. So it has to be $1 billion movie, and I don't know one person is excited about it.
I'm excited because I know the story.
One of the things, like I watched something and they were talking about one of the reshoots, like from behind the scenes. Like people are like they started like watching it and going through it and editing it, and they're like, the Red Hulk hits this Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
Which he isn't really Captain America. He's Falcon.
Yeah.
That's what he should always be. He's not a super soldier. But he's a regular. He's like you. If you're holding a shield up and Red Hulk hits you, what's going to happen to you?
All right, first of all,
what's going to happen to you? What are you going to look like on the other side of the shield?
Because if you read the comics, you understand that shield has the properties to absorb
Yeah. What's
tremendous
going to
amount
happen
of power.
here? Nothing. Hulk hits that.
Nothing.
And you're holding on to it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You have to hold on to it.
Yeah.
You can't stand behind it and go, all right, let it absorb everything. Your body is holding it in contact with it. It's going to go through. He's going to turn into mush. It's going to be a pile of mush behind it. They had to go back and refilm it because they did that. And somebody said, we can't put that in there. He's not a super soldier.
He is tiptoeing into my domain of comics. Now, Falcon has been Captain America a long time in the comics.
I know.
The shield of Captain America has special property. Huh?
How good do those comics do?
They'll do good. Not as good as like the 90s.
No. I saw stats. They were not well received.
He's been there for years, so they would not.
They were lukewarm at best.
They're still pumping them out.
And so let me tell you, Soldier ever Captain America?
Yes.
Okay.
And he had a gun.
And he was super soldier, right?
Well,
yeah.
He did not have.
And he had a vibranium arm. Let's see, he was holding onto the shield. Yeah. But
so
he's a comics. He's a white guy. You don't want him to do that, right? Yeah. He's got to be woke.
No.
Was Falcon a black man in the comic books?
Yes.
Yes, he was. So that's actually accurate.
Yeah.
But was he a super soldier?
He was no. Neither was Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was just Bucky. So he was.
But he was turned in.
He was
by Hydra into a super soldier.
Only in the sense that he had like ninja skills. He wasn't strong. He wasn't fast.
He was given a serum.
Not in the comics.
But in the movies, he was already.
Yeah.
And in the comics, I do remember him having the serum.
No, I still have the thing. I'll show you if you want.
You're
in my domain.
I'm pretty sure.
You're in my domain.
I'm pretty sure because I remember them talking about what comics it was that he had the serum.
It was. I'll bring. You should read it because it's really good. Anyways.
So in the movies, which is the canon, right?
No.
The movie's canon over the comic books. Because guess what? Hollywood does not care about the comic books.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They don't care about books at all. We know that
separate universes. You're right.
All right.
MCU is different than the 616.
So he is a super soldier. So would he not be the best alternative to be Captain America? Especially after being reformed in Wakanda.
He was, but Chris Evans, aka the original Cap, did not want him because he wasn't sure where his allegiance lied, and he's been friends with the Falcon for a long time.
And the Falcon's great. I love the Falcon.
Yeah.
But he's not a super soldier, and he's taking on...
Don't worry, this is
actually super power. I know. But he's taking on super powered villains.
Yeah.
Great. You know what? Do you want freaking who shoots the arrow? Hawkeye. Do you want Hawkeye? Guess what? He shoots arrows really good.
Yeah.
Should he be taking on the Red Hulk?
He has in the comics. It didn't end well.
Yeah.
For him.
The Red Hulk is still a Hulk.
Yeah.
The Hulk should be taking him on. Thor, Wolverine.
I have a feeling.
Not the Falcon.
That the Hulk is going to be in. So here's what my sources are saying.
Hopefully not Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
He
becomes Super Genius Hulk, who's a little bitch Hulk.
Yeah, he'll be in there. So Wolverine is going to be in the Avengers. That's already leaked out. Tony Stark as Dr. Doom.
What version of Wolverine?
The same one in Deadpool and Wolverine. That's that one. Because he doesn't have his timeline anymore, so he's going to go into the 616.
Okay, well, you know what? I would be super excited for that, but I would not bet your...
I think according to Deadpool,
Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
that's what I want.
And then so Tony Stark as Dr. Doom has been in a comics. It was written by my favorite comic book writer. I read that story years ago, and I really thought they were going to have Tom Cruise be that. When I heard the rumors that they might bring Dr. Doom in, I'm like, oh, they're going to do Tom Cruise. Because Tom Cruise did try out to be Ultimate Iron Man, which is an Iron Man from a different dimension, who turned out to be bad, but he was still Iron Man. Which one is
The one that was in space, which was Superior Iron? The one who was like blue with...
That's what I'm talking about. That was going to be... They actually were fitting Tom Cruise into that. I said Ultimate. It's really superior. It's one of those.
Anything Tom Cruise does.
Yeah, and so he actually was fit, and I thought when they were going to do the Mouth of Madness, I thought they were going to like spring him up a little bit. So, anyways, you're right. They are course correcting. They're actually the thing that bothered me about the MCU is that they have this big celestial popping out of the ocean. I like the Eternals. I was ready for a second one.
I was ready for the second one too. I thought it was
nobody referred them into movies. They got like Spider-Man, and they're like, "Hey,
they act like it didn't even."
Yeah. Do you see that huge guy climbing out of the ocean? Like, wasn't that crazy? Like, that's
our planet almost ceased to exist.
Yeah, they're still talking about the blip all these years later. Not one person's talking about this massive guy crawling out of the ocean.
This is the problem. Like, I will give Kevin Feige credit for course correcting, but what it seems like is he stepped away a little bit too much and let other people do shit.
Yeah,
and now he has to come back and fix it. If you want to be in it, like George Lucas didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, all right, hand it over. Why sell it to Disney?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stories behind that, but we don't want to get into that. Disney was.
You're right.
Bob Iger unfortunately developed a relationship, and I think he developed a lot of it to manipulate George Lucas, buying his treatments of the scripts and doing all this. But George Lucas ultimately did not want to keep making Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to spend more time with his daughter. He just said it was so much work and so much effort to put in, because he actually put the effort in. Unlike these jackasses at Disney, don't put any effort into it. He actually uses his brain to think about stuff and get stuff done. So I give Marvel, the MCU, Kevin Feige, they realize they're going, number one, they had a problem with Kang. So Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
So
and then they were making
course correcting.
Crap. Yeah.
Right now, Star Wars is not course correcting. Star Wars is going, we don't have any damn money anymore. We gotta cancel all these stupid movies we had.
The problem with Feige was he was trying to make his own Star Wars trilogy, and I think that's what kind of pulled him out of the MCU. Yeah, my boy. And
you don't like me calling Kevin Feige?
No, it is Feige. I like calling him Feige. Anyways, he kind of got into the Star Wars thing. Was like, okay, I gotta get back in there because these people are making movies that aren't connected. They're not, obviously people don't want all of this stuff. So what they're doing is they cut down a lot and they're combining stuff. So I expect to see the Hawk in the Red Hawk. Like, I don't think it's just Sam Wilson. And I'm glad that they showed a picture of Sam Wilson flying through the fingers of the Celestial coming out of the ocean. So like we still acknowledge that it happened.
That I did recognize that.
And then I'm happy that they're bringing back Secret Wars. Now, this is my theory. I think with Secret Wars, if you read the comic,
let's not go out to Secret Wars.
Oh, okay. Well, that's for next.
Well, Avengers Doomsday, right?
Yeah. Well, Doomsday and Fantastic Four is going to set up Doomsday.
Yeah. But I don't understand how it's going to, because the Fantastic Four movie set in like the 60s.
Yeah, but they're gonna. Why? So was Captain America set in the 40s, and then
but they came all the way forward real quickly.
Yeah,
so they're gonna Richards and they're gonna jump them forward. They're gonna be old. They didn't not age.
Now they can time travel. They have a time travel.
I don't like that. They should have made it current. Why would you take them back to it and do a time period piece?
Look, I don't know.
I think there's something he couldn't fix.
I know that could be
because I heard it was going to be more of a separate movie.
And now they're introducing Robert Downey's already shot his scenes for Fantastic Four.
All right, which is good because that's how when I think of Doctor Doom, I don't think of the Avengers. I don't think of all that. I think of Fantastic Four only.
Yeah, and Galactus. So Galactus, Fantastic Four, and Doom. Yep, they're all going to be in that movie.
Have they announced if it's still going to be a female Silver Surfer?
I don't know.
They haven't course corrected that yet.
Well, there was a girl who was called Nova. So Galactus had a lot of heralds. Silver Surfer was like number 6. And so they have Nova, who has, looks like Silver Surfer, but it's gold with a big thing of fire. And her and Johnny Storm fell in love, and that's part of the reason why they clashed with Galactus a lot. He was trying to save her from Galactus. Yeah. I don't know if they're going there, but Secret Wars
Galactus is
when they're going to bring back Iron Man, the original Captain America. Probably not Chris Evans. They're probably going to be recast, but this is how they're going to reintroduce X-Men, all of this stuff, and all of this combined one universe.
They pretty much have to, because I mean, I love Chris Evans as Captain America. Captain America is my favorite superhero.
Yeah,
hands down. There's nobody like Google Iron Man or Batman.
Yeah.
I like them all. I like a lot of them. I'm a Superman guy too.
Yeah.
But I mean, Captain America is my favorite. And Chris Evans, I felt, did a great job.
He is Captain America.
He is Captain America. But you're going to have to recast it. Just like they should have recast Luke Skywalker, Leia.
Yeah.
Star Wars, you got to recast. Robert Downey Jr. is no spring chicken.
No.
Keeps himself in great shape. Tom Cruise keeps himself in great shape.
Yeah.
And guess what? When you see him with the shirt off,
He looks like he's 70.
Just like I look pretty good for 51, but I look better when I was 31.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So
no, they'll be recast. And then in a Marvel Comics, I mean, this is multiverses and variants of each other is all very common. And that's all they're going to do. You know, I mean, it's too expensive to keep these same old actors.
They can't, they got to stick jumping. I liked going to the one multiverse and having, Scarlet Witch disintegrate people and unravel it. It was cool. But you can't spend so much time jumping around like this.
Well, that's what Secret Wars.
Because you're losing the cost. These movies need to make $1 billion, and they're losing the general person. They're like, I don't understand what just happened in this. What are you talking about? This multiverse and that, and this, and
see, that's Secret Wars. Secret Wars is every superhero from all the different characters. So I would not be surprised.
And they battle down to one.
No, they go to a planet and they battle all the bad guys from all the different universes, and then they save it.
Wait, which? There's a comic book I remember reading it. It's been many years. I'm not into comic books like Brad is anymore. When I was a kid, where they battled down to where there was one.
That's the Contest of Champions. This is different.
Okay.
So this is where they go. There's this godlike creator called the Beyonder, and he makes the battle world, which is made up of all the different galaxies that have superheroes.
And then he
pulls them all in.
DC too.
Yeah, they had Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah, I mean, and they
the Anti-Monitor was the big one.
Darkseid has a planet where they all go battle and stuff.
And so what they're going to do, I'm pretty sure, if he's smart, is the X-Men is going to be pulled in from the Fox universe, and then they're going to bring in the Sony universe with all of their characters, and they're going to bring in the Fantastic Four, and they're going to bring in the 3 different Spider-Mans, and they're going to bring in the Avengers, the current Avengers, and then pretty soon they're all going to die down in battle and go to 1616, which is our Earth number. And that's going to be the course correct of no more multiverse. There's a world now that has Avengers, the X-Men, Blade, all of that. It's all going to be in one confined universe, and that'll be that from there on out. This is a way they're like, oh, we can really, and I think it'll make $10 billion because they're like, you want to see Blade fight Wolverine with Deadpool mocking him, with the Hawk throwing stuff, with the Lizard, Dr. Doom, the Beyonder, and Galacticus all right there, all on one planet, just throwing stuff at each other. It's just going to be awesome. They're going to break the record of most superheroes in one movie, and it's just going to shatter. And I think that you don't have to see any other comic, movie, anything. You're just going to see what all the heroes are fighting, all the villains in Galactus for some surprise power that's going to be taken by Dr. Doom.
What are the best movies? Okay, so besides Deadpool and Wolverine, what are your best comic book movies?
Oh,
are they? Is there 100? I mean, take.
Let me tell you right now.
Game and Xfinity Wars.
Right now.
Captain America.
Civil War.
Winter Soldier is one of my favorite.
Yep.
Iron Man, the original one.
Near perfect film. Batman Dark Knight Returns with Heath Ledger.
Well, all 3 of the Bane.
Yeah.
That whole. So are they convoluted by all these superheroes, or do they have a very simple, straightforward story?
Well, they have straight, but this is the way to.
I'm worried that
Clean the
people
timelines.
you and me will like it, and all the nerds and geeks out there. But to make the big money, you need to do what Avatar's done and what the Xfinity Wars did and the Captain Americas and what Deadpool were. Deadpool has a bunch of stuff in it, but it's not that much.
No.
You know what I mean? There's a lot in real, but it's very small compared to what you're talking with Xfinity War and I think they sometimes just simple shit and the simple stories are good.
I think this is going to pare everything down. I think this is where they okay, thanks Thor for all of your hard work. We can no longer afford to pay you $50 million a movie. Thank you, Kevin.
How much do you think Robert Downey Jr. is fucking bringing in?
I think he's getting $100 million.
Woo! Dang.
For just a little bit.
That's all. I'm excited. When I heard the news, I was excited about it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I'm like a lot of other people. It's like, can't they just do something new? Can't they get a new actors? A lot of good actors out there. Let's not I got one thing. Let's stop freaking casting Pedro Pascal in every freaking show.
I know.
I mean, come on.
He's in Star Wars, Marvel, and The Last of Us.
And that isn't it. I mean, there's other, I don't know. I like him, but there's certain roles I do not see him being Reed Richards.
No.
I can think of 5 actors who are really better Reed Richards. Not that he's not a good actor, but Jessica Kirby, the one who's playing Invisible Woman, I thought, what a great casting.
Yeah.
I immediately went, she's great.
Yeah.
And then Pedro Pascal, I'm like, come on.
He's a handsome daddy.
He is a frumpy old fuck.
Gotta get the girls in there.
He's a grumpy, frumpy son of a bitch.
Hey,
there's way better good looking.
I got 4 minutes. We got to wrap this up. I got heart out. I got to get meds.
This guy doesn't come for several months and then shows up and goes, I got to get out.
Got to get meds to my boy before he punches somebody in the face.
We got through everything except for House of Dragons.
I need a long time for House of Dragons.
I
have a lot of thoughts.
It was good. It finished. It's over.
What a waste of a season finale. That's all I'm saying.
No, just setting up the next one. See, this is what people get all we know there's going to be a House of Dragons season 3, right?
Yeah, in 2 years.
So,
can't we get a little action?
If it wasn't the finale, would you have thought it was a great episode? If it was setting up the finale.
If there was one more episode, I thought it would have been great.
Now, here's what they got to not do. They can't do what fucking Star Trek Strange Worlds did.
Yeah, and be like, hey, what a great war that was.
And then all of a sudden we have 3 or 4 episodes of fucking, are they even going to address it? They start doing musical numbers and shit.
Yeah. Has anyone seen My Dragon? Oh, I don't know. Or do the old Game of Thrones when they didn't have a big
just
budget?
Have Rhaenyra scissoring with some chick. And
I'm in with that.
You know what?
What's worse, if they don't acknowledge it, or if they come back and they're like, "Woo, you guys missed the big battle." I mean, we had dragons.
The Battle of the Bastards. I read about the Battle.
We barely won. That was that would have been a big budget, but
no, that was. I'm excited about it, and I thought it was a good episode. I just didn't think it was. I would have loved to have saw 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can we
finish it off, and then we go into the next phase of it.
We used to get 22 episodes a year. And then they're like, oh, now we're going to make it 10 episodes.
Thank God, though.
Now we're 8.
Only got 8 episodes of that.
Yeah, it only was cut on the Acolyte.
Another episode of that. And I might have become one of those gunmen going to Disney Studios.
I'd be like, that looks like Casey's truck as you're ramming through the gates of...
You see me come out. 2 fucking machine guns in my hand. I start just blasting everybody. I'm like, I'm done with it.
Anyways, everybody, check out his website. I'll put it on the bottom.
And that was it. We won't talk about House of Dragons because it's going to be too far removed.
I missed this big vlog, and you should have heard the tearful thing about me before.
I did not say shit.
Oh, he did.
I did miss him.
And that's it. We're out.